Broadcasting live from Hammerheim on the plain of Dominaria, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome everybody to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham. Joining me is Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
And Wheeler.
Stop. Hammerheim.
Today is part 3 of our series on ranking every asterisk Magic the Gathering mechanic. And we're pleased to have you with us. Before we start, though, I want to remind everybody that this show is brought to you by our friends at Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your cardboard needs. They will ship singles anywhere in the world. And they'll ship most sealed product anywhere in the world, too, just not stuff that's in standard, though I guess standard is larger now than it was. The point is cardkingdom.com/LRR. Putting the LRR on there tells them that we sent you, and we do that because we like to work with them, and that helps them know that we have sent you over there. So please do that. Ask for a little button. They'll send you a little button that says a funny thing. Say, loading ready, run sent me button, please. And they'll send you a button with a funny thing on it. I don't know what. Find out. Also, Dragon Shield. Use the code LRRMTG5 to get yourself a 5% discount off anything that you buy on the Dragon Shield store. Best sleeves in the business. And everything that we do here is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon or by becoming a member on this YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Wheeler.
I have a button suggestion.
Yeah.
Ha ha hee hee tutu.
That's good. I'll put it in there. I'm already adding Stop Hammerheim as a button suggestion.
Perfect. So yeah, this is part 3 of our part series, 9, I guess, of ranking every Magic the Gathering mechanic. And by every, I mean that we culled some, so it made an even list for ranking purposes. But this is the first one that we've recorded since the first 2 episodes started airing, and the response has been strong. So thank you. Mm-hmm. I'd say strong. That strong is a almost a meaningless thing. It's been good.
It's been strong. We've been introduced to slurs we didn't even know existed.
No, it's been good. It's been very well received, and we really appreciate you watching and sharing your thoughts with it, which mostly folks I don't think are disagreeing with you that hard. So good job.
There were some people that lacked reading or listening comprehension regarding banding, but that's bound to happen because it's online.
I enjoyed reading people getting into it and arguing one side or the other for banding. So good for you for having opinions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to dive into it today with our first card, or first mechanic of our randomized 20 for today, which is Prowl.
Oh.
Prowl.
That's a transmute card. My beloved
Grozoth. That doesn't have Prowl.
Sweet Grozoth.
Yours is in a different order than mine.
Oh,
no.
how?
I guess we're getting transmute.
Do we want to talk Grozoth? Or we're
Yeah.
getting Defender? No, we already talked about Defender.
We did already have Defender.
This is transmute.
We'll start with transmute then.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we got Grozoth here, who you've picked one that doesn't have the reminder text for transmute, which is hilarious. But there we go.
These are like the 2 dirtiest transmute cards in the whole bunch.
Yep.
We love them.
So this was from Ravnica City of Guilds. This was the original Dimir mechanic. And I'll read Dimir Machinations. It's 2 and a black for a sorcery. You look at the top 3 cards of target player's library, remove any number of those cards from the game, then put the rest back in any order. None of that matters.
Wrong. Wrong. North 100 Showdown fans up in here that let you know it does matter. But keep going, Graham.
Keep going, pal.
Okay. And it has transmute for 1 black. And what that says is, for 1 black, discard this card. Search your library for a card with the same converted mana cost as this card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library.
Yeah,
play only as a sorcery.
My exiled library has things to say about the text box of the
What I mean is, transmute has no bearing on what the card does, and vice versa. Transmute is almost like disconnected from the abilities of the card.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
That's true.
Why is Dimir Machinations so good?
You want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there are a couple of reasons. This card is so funny because being able to exile your opponent's library means that you can use this as a tutor for a 3-mana card, such as Show and Tell, which puts Omniscience into play, which then allows you to, through a convoluted loop, exile your opponent's entire library using just dimmer machinations without having to add additional win conditions to your combo deck.
Because the machinations goes back in your library?
Well,
it goes in your graveyard, but then
we're going to play a card to put it back into our library.
Sure.
Alternatively, there's a combo deck called Citadel Storm that uses Tinker, and this finds Tinker. And Citadel Storm uses Bolas' Citadel, which relies on the top of the library. And so being able to machinations yourself to set up your library is pretty important. Also, we saw this played in Doomsday in the Canadian Highlander 2023 year-end top 8, where
I don't remember.
Sasha on Doomsday, dim your machinations to get around a counterbalance trigger.
Ooh, that's exciting.
It's just this is just a raw nerve for a lot of Canlander players because it's like, no, this one rules.
Okay.
You are putting it in your deck to tutor for a powerful 3-drop. Like, you're right about that. Like, your first thing you said, like, where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because usually the transmute cards, primarily they're going in so that you can transmute them.
And are they always, is the transmute cost always mana value 3?
No. Oh, the cost? Yes. The cost of transmute, like what you pay for transmute
is, I think I've seen it on a bunch of different cards.
It's 1 blue, blue, 1 black, black, or 1 black, blue. Those are the 3 different transmute.
What is Clutch to the Undercities transmute?
1 black, blue.
All right, it's 1 black, blue.
Yeah, but the to cast Clutch, it's 4.
It's 4, yeah.
So there are 2 different gold costs on that one. I mean, this one has 2 different mana costs, right? Like, casting the spell doesn't require the extra black.
That's always what caught me up with transmute, is that you're looking for a card with the same converted mana cost as the card you're transmuting, not the amount you're paying.
Yeah, you transmute Dizzy Spell for still 3 mana.
But you find a 1.
You will find a 1-drop, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So all the cards with transmute, the transmute cost is either 1 black black, 1 blue blue, or 1 blue black.
I think so, yeah.
No, that is the case.
Yeah, that's the case. Okay, great, yeah.
But they get to go looking for mana value of whatever the card is, which in this case is also 3.
Yeah, 3. It's a very funny spread because you have 0, which was printed outside of Ravnica block.
That's right. Yeah, Future Sight.
For Future Sight with
Teleria
West.
Standard format for a bit, though.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. You got 1, 2, and 3. You have a single 4, and you have a single 5. And my favorite little piece of trivia: there's only 1 5. Because Battle of Wits was in that standard environment.
Oh my god, it was in that standard environment?
And so they didn't want to put too much juice towards finding your Battle of Wits.
I knew it was an extended. Like there were deck lists coming out of extended after. Because honestly, Ravnica City of Guilds did juice the Battle of Wits deck. Okay?
Yeah, you get good lands.
Yeah. And the one brain spoil.
You get the brain spoil.
They haven't done anything with like Commander deck introduces 6-drop transmute. Sorry, you stopped at 5, but the first card we saw in the day was the 9.
Yes,
but is there 6, 7, or 8? There's no other ones, right?
There's no 6, 7. And there's no 8. It just goes up to 9 for Dragonstorm.
Yes.
Dragonstorm has transmute? What?
No, but Grozoth finds Dragonstorm.
Okay, got it.
So then in Standard, if you wanted, you could play a Grozoth in your Dragonstorm deck, and then the Sharks at F&M would debate whether this was correct or not.
Grozoth finds Dragonstorm. Tanagra when the walls fell.
Druid the Ozzifrance. Sir
Temba, his
what
eyes
is it?
open.
Has Tromple, Mr. Flompy?
Zalto has big
Zalto
Flompy.
has Tromples. Mr.
Smoking stogies with your hoagies.
Yeah, exactly. Eldrazi Jund,
Yeah.
Before damage, end of turn.
Grozoth, for those listening, it's 6 blue, blue, blue for a 9/9. A lot of 9s. And it had with Defender, but when it comes into play, you may search your library for any number of cards that have converted mana cost 9, reveal them, and put them into your hand if you do shuffle your library. And then you can pay 4 and Grozoth loses Defender.
Oh, thank God.
Or you can just transmute Grozoth for 1 blue, blue and go get
That's what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to just discard the Grozoth to find the Dragonstorm, and then the next turn unsuspend your Lotus Blooms and win the game. But every now and then you'd have a weird game where like you had to counter their stuff and burn their stuff and play your non-Dragonstorm cards. And then just cast Grozoth and get all copies of Dragonstorm in your hand to just plan to cast them every turn.
Oh.
And you mentioned
F&M was a beautiful thing.
You mentioned Teleria West from you said this was from Future Sight.
From Future Sight.
So because most of these were printed in Ravnica City of Guilds. All of them. This one's from Future Sight, and it transmutes to go looking for anything with mana value 0.
Yes. Yeah. So Tolarian Academy, Black Lotus, Pact Negation.
Cool.
Some good cards.
Yeah. Not too many,
On this mechanic, though, not to be the one to get this podcast rolling.
Right.
Is it's a funny one because it's like a busted mechanic, but also it's not Storm, it's not Dredge, so people have a hard time looking at mechanics that are competitively powerful, right? And that are satisfying because, I get to tutor for the best card. And I feel so smart because I had this one card that I tutored for that'll kill you or whatever. So they probably want to put this high because it's a mechanic that does all that isn't Storm or Dredge, and they've been told those are bad. But I think this has got to be a C.
Really?
It's too good, and it sucks, dog.
The thing
it's
is,
boring.
The thing is, let me argue the other side. As the person who just explained, sometimes you cast Grozoth, right?
Okay.
The thing is, they did this thing where they balanced it pretty well, right? Like you can either tutor for exactly that mana cost, which in plenty of 60 card decks and even 100 card decks, that's all you ever want to do. But because it's stapled to this other effect, especially decks that need to tutor a lot, sometimes are behind the 8 ball, and that won't be good enough. So sometimes you just have to cast and block with Dimir Informant, right? You know what I mean? Sometimes you're in that position, and I just find the gameplay that arises around transmute cards interesting enough that it deserves an A.
I mean, I can't think of a single transmute card that I haven't cast.
Right.
Dimir Infiltrator, I've played that bad boy. It blocks. Drift the Phantasms, try to get through that.
Obviously, Shred Memory.
Yeah, Shred Memory. Muddle the Mixture. They put a counter spell that can find your Time Vault, Kappa.
Yep.
The problem is we just figured out a better way to do this through adventure and omen creatures, and having other ways that your bigger clunky card can also do something else or turn into something that'll be more helpful for you than a situational card. But they also figured out it's more satisfying to the card, the actual playing of the card is something that you'll always want, which is creature or permanent, and
right.
that the you might want to do this is now put on the often cheaper, more situational side. Because you always want to tutor, and then sometimes you play the thing face up, right? You play the Shred Memory or whatever. But I think that play pattern stinks. Also, uncounterable tutoring.
Yeah, here's the thing. I wanna acknowledge your slight against Transmute, that it's too good, right?
Yeah.
Transmute's pretty busted. 3 mana tutor for the thing that you want, and they gave you the spread, so you deck built in order to do that. That's really good, especially on an activated ability. But I want to, at the same time, I want to fight against C, because it's okay, all the most busted mechanics, are you planning to put them all in C and D? Because the thing is, people like powerful stuff too. We play kind of the worst format for doing powerful shit.
No, I like powerful stuff. I'm not going to put Storm in C or D.
Okay. Or Dredge.
Oh,
right?
Dredge I might. Dredge is a little egregious.
I just think that if it was powerful enough that a bunch of people picked it up and won with it and kept playing it and trying to refine it, it's let's acknowledge that people like doing unfair things. They enjoy it.
Yeah, and that there's merit in that, but Transmute is also just not something that Wizards has acknowledged that people want more of. Right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen another Transmute card.
That's true.
If there's not realm to explore new Transmute cards at the same mana value of pre-existing Transmute cards, then it tells me that the playing of other cards with Transmute is not as exciting, and that people default to the Transmute. And then if they're defaulting to that, then why print new cards that are just going to do the same thing, right?
They did print more Storm cards in the last 5 years.
Yeah, they figured out that there is a knob for Storm.
Yeah, there's even a Storm card.
And they keep screwing that up, but we'll get to that later. There's even a knob for Dredge, for what it's worth. You make it Dredge 1.
Right.
Right?
I was
Dredge 2.
I was planning to put this at A.
Where you know Transmute.
I want to put it at C, but
we
we can
split the
compromise
difference?
and put it at B.
I'm fine with B.
Yeah.
I agree. Transmute is too busted.
I would prefer Transmute if this was a mechanic that was attached to cards that were if it played more like Adventure,
Right.
basically. Like if it was like big chonky things that could transmute for smaller things, or smaller creatures that could transmute for bigger creatures. But it's just hard to make that work within the rules of transmute, and so it's likely just better to make a new mechanic than to try and fix this.
Right. But yeah, the version you'd rather have seen is like, this is an instant, so it can only go get an instant or something, or this it's only on creatures.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
room to kind of explore, but I think the current batch that we have, which is also likely going to be the only batch that we have, is unless they're like a designer needs to be like, I'm going to be the person to make a transmute for 6. It's
Fill that hole.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I think maybe that was a design period where they were really trying hard to fix standard, and they did a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. And also limited, like at the same time, limited was like experiencing a big, like, wave of improvement during the period leading up to and then after Ravnica City of Guilds.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And transmute cards were popular and extended, right?
Yeah.
Saw a lot of extended play.
But like at the time, I think if you had asked the designers of Ravnica City of Guilds, like, how do you think this card's going to affect Vintage? They'd be like, what's that? I want to guess.
All right, next up. Can you guess? Why, yes, it's Prowl. No.
Oh my God.
Got you.
What is happening
You got
right now?
pranked.
Well,
Ha.
are we doing more than meets the eye, the
James
mechanic?
brought up the art for Prowl Stoic Strategist.
I'm hilarious. Anyway, here's the real card.
No one's
Thank
even going to
you.
know what this podcast is.
So Prowl, okay. Prowl, by the way, is a card or is a mechanic that would absolutely get me in a Magic trivia competition thing because it came out in Morningtide, and it was always printed as caring about goblins, fairies, or rogues, but it's actually just the subtype in question.
yeah, it's kindred card, creature type, prowl. If you hit them with creature type,
Yeah.
pay prowl.
Yeah.
They've changed it.
Yeah. So we're looking at knowledge exploitation, which is a rogue sorcery. It's 5 blue. Search opponent's library for an instant or sorcery. You can play it without paying its mana cost, and then they shuffle their library. But it has a prowl cost, which is you may pay this for its prowl cost, in this case 3 and a blue, if you dealt combat damage to a player this turn with a rogue. And because it is type rogue. And so you'll get, there's goblin rogues, and they'll have a prowl cost. So if you hit them with a goblin, you get to pay it cheaper. There'll be fairy rogues. These are all the Morningtide ones, and you get to pay its prowl cost if you hit with a fairy or a rogue. But now it came back in the Zendikar Rising commander decks.
Yeah.
Where they changed it to just if you. Well, actually, so in Enigma Thief, it does say Sphinx.
Yeah.
Sphinx Rogue. The most recent iteration of it is there's a Jurassic Park card.
Oh, okay, dinosaur
Hunting
prowl.
Velociraptor. It just says dinosaurs you control have prowl. Right. You may pay a spell for its prowl cost if you dealt combat damage to a player this turn with a creature of any of its creature types. Which is a clunky way of saying it, but yeah, basically, if you hit with a dinosaur, then you can cast a dinosaur for its prowl cost. In this case, all the dinosaurs.
This is probably the
prowl
most
2 and a red.
the most played prowl card.
Yeah.
Like this new one they made where they fixed it and
Yeah.
gave it to dinosaurs specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah, this card's pretty pricey.
and then also,
popular.
I truthfully don't know if this is also on the list in future, but Prowl begat free running in
Right.
the Assassin's Creed decks, which is literally just Prowl, but only assassins
Or your commander.
or your commander.
Oh,
Right.
or your commander.
I think it's commander or legendary creature. I think it's commander.
I'm gonna
I'm checking.
wild guess that
Yes.
free running is one of the mechanics we culled.
Assassin or commander.
Is free running one of the mechanics we've called, James? Do you know offhand?
I don't, honestly.
All right.
All right, for next episode, let's have the runner-up mechanics on standby, please.
All right, so Prowl.
Prowl's not an ability that a lot of people remember. You mentioned Magic Trivia, and
Yep.
like it, there was one standard deck where you were playing the Una's. Is it Prowlers? What's the one in a black discard lord?
That was Una's Blackguard.
Blackguard.
Yeah, Blackguard's the
Which one's Prowler?
things with
That's
counters.
the discard outlet, right?
Yeah, Prowler's the discard outlet.
So there was these black fairies. It was like a mono black, kind of like an 8-rack sort of deck, but instead of the rack killing you, it was just cheap evasive creatures that make you discard if you have Una's Blackguard. Like, it really revolved around Una's Blackguard, but that deck played some Prowl cards. The only Prowl card I know from Constructed is Earwig Squad.
Oh, yeah. Squad up.
Yeah.
James, can we get the squad on screen?
Earwig Squad's a pretty fun card.
This one's good.
Yeah.
3 black, 5/3. When it enters the battlefield, if its prowl cost was paid, search target opponent's library for 3 cards and exile them.
Yeah.
And then they shuffle, and its prowl cost is only 2 and a black. So if you hit with a goblin, you get a 5/3 for 3, and you get to just exile 3 cards out of their library.
There's a very small window where Type 1 goblins played this card.
That's
And
mess-
you would just like hit them and prowl this out off of like... I guess it wouldn't be type. Was Cavern legal then?
That feels messed up to me.
The point is, you'd get this card and play in Vintage, and they couldn't kill it.
Yeah.
And like it just, you'd find their power and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, in Canadian Highlander, it's pretty great if you're playing against combo. It's like
Yeah.
the best card in your deck like in that matchup. I don't know. It feels like the balancing act of the regular mana cost versus the prowl cost is that seems like a real design challenge, and like per creature types it matters too. Like the fact they made that red one, that's it's like every dinosaur has prowl 2 in a red. Like no wonder that card is popular.
Yep.
Right, because now you're saying if you have this lord out, you could be playing your 12 drops for 3. Obviously that people are excited about that. But also just like trying to figure out what the prowl cost should be is tough, because sometimes some of the prowl cards are like, oh, I have to hit you and I only get 1 mana off. I don't know if I care. You know, like it's like this sort of, it feels like a bit of a nothing burger mechanic.
Yeah, it's hard to hate it because it's a mechanic that is all upside in that, like, it's if you hit them, you get cost reduction, and that feels cool, and that incentivizes you to build around a specific type of card, which is also cool. People already like doing that, right? If I'm playing my deck with like a bunch of fairies and rogues, and then I have some prowl cards, and I'm like, okay, cool. I get this makes me feel smart for playing all these fairies and rogues. And maybe you'll play a card that has prowl that just happens to, be a rogue but not a fairy, and you get to include that, so you aren't just playing fairy rogue cards. You can play some cards that are like goblin rogue, and that just slides in as a silver bullet, or like fairy wizard and it slides in, and that's cool. And you do so by hitting your opponent. And any mechanic, in my opinion, that just encourages you to hit your opponent is great. Like that's just the backbone of this entire game, is throwing a grizzly bear at your opponent. But yeah, it's just kind of not much. Not to like backseat designer. It's the kind of thing that I don't actually have an issue with the prowl. I have the issue with the other lines of text on prowl cards. Is like,
right.
I would like Earwig Squad, another example. It's like, okay, so if I hit you, it's cheaper and I get to do this thing. And if I don't hit you, I'm an idiot. So if I'm behind and I have these prowl cards that are clogging up my hand, I'm still just so behind and I get no gravy.
Because you don't want to cast a 5/3 for 5.
No.
It doesn't even have the effect if you don't pay the prowl cost.
But
yeah.
if it were, say, Earwig Squad, 5 mana, 5/3, with Prowl for 3, ETB, search their deck for a card and exile it, but if the Prowl cost was paid, exile 3 cards instead, then you are at least like, well, I'm not happy playing 5 mana for a 5/3, but I got the effect that I included this card for.
Right.
I didn't get the big effect. And honestly, exiling 1 card versus 3, not that much different.
Not tons
but
different,
like,
yeah.
For a lot of players, especially like commander players or more casual players, that will feel huge, right? If it hits, like, well, at least I get to not worry about you casting Cyclonic Rift. But then if they get the Prowl, they're like, okay, now I get to be like, I don't have to play around Rift, and I don't have to play around this Wrath, and I hate Farewell and whatnot. So it's like, I want to put this at B, and I think that's a little more generous than some people may put it. But it wants you to play cool cards that all synergize and encourages you to attack.
I do love encouraging players to attack. It feels weird putting Prowl higher than Transmute. Oh, it's the same. You want
It's
it
the
to be
same.
as well.
I just want to put it in the same slot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I consent.
All right. Prowl also at B. Next up, this is a deep pull, I think. I'm going to ask you how many cards have been printed with this mechanic after I tell you what the mechanic is. It's Gravestorm.
I have my answer,
Yeah,
but I wonder if I'm wrong.
I have an answer too.
Do you want to go first?
We could show it on fingers.
Sure.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
3, 2, 1, 2.
Nice. There is a second
There
Gravestorm
is a second
card.
Gravestorm
Yeah.
card.
Okay.
As of Murders at Karlov Manor Commander.
Oh.
So yeah, Gravestorm. Here's the original example from Future Sight: Bitter Ordeal, 2 and a black. Search target player's library for a card and exile it, and then they shuffle. A lot of similar mechanics have had this today. But Gravestorm says when you play the spell, you copy it for each permanent put into a graveyard this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. Mm-hmm. So it's like Storm, not for casting spells, but for the graveyard. This is the second one, by the way, Follow the Bodies. It's 2 and a blue, Investigate. So you just make a clue, but it has Gravestorm. So if a whole bunch of stuff died, then you get a whole bunch of clues.
Very cute.
That's my first time seeing that card. I didn't know that they printed another Gravestorm card. I guess it was just
I
last
have
year.
not, amusingly, I have not investigated these decks very extensively. And yeah, this is
The
an interesting
MKM
one.
Commander decks have some bangers. They also went pretty hard on the like, hey, what's a mechanic we haven't used and how do I
Yeah.
use it?
Okay.
You know?
So Gravestorm.
Yeah, I mean, it's only on 2 cards.
Yep.
The first card they printed it on, you can build a combo deck around and use it as your win con if you want. The second card they printed it on makes clues.
Yeah, why is this a mechanic? And not I mean the answer is
Yeah.
Future Sight. The answer
Right.
is they like this is a gimmick, right?
I don't know if there's a second Transfigure card either,
Nope.
right? So, anyways, I don't know. Why is this a mechanic?
It shouldn't be a mechanic.
I'm okay with, like, I don't hate these cards, but yeah, I kind of want to give it a low
shouldn't-
rating
it
on a
ju-
technicality.
I just
right?
want to give it F. It
Sure.
shouldn't be a mechanic. It should. We have cards that already say like, "Hey, as you cast this, copy it for
X,
right,
yeah.
like for whatever you've done."
Yeah.
and
They kind of cheated.
yeah,
Gravestorm.
yeah. But also, like, tracking this is a nightmare, dog. Like,
That's fair.
yeah, tracking this and
Yeah.
like tracking Storm can get muddy too, right? You start incrementing a dice, but if something gets shuffled or remanded, like,
If they
maybe
made
it's
like
tough,
10 more cards with Gravestorm, then and they started getting played, like there was a good one that the deck was built around, and there were some limited ones, and there was one that's popular in Commander, then like after a couple years, we'd probably get used to it and we'd be over it. But because there's just Bitter Ordeal, no one's used to tracking Gravestorm. So hopefully you're not usually in a game where you have to figure out, going back through the turn, how many people cracked a fetch or whatever. It should just be going on the stack if the combo player has like infinitely, Gravecrawler, Warren Soldier
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
It
or whatever,
also, I hasten to point out, it doesn't say non-token, and this was printed. Bitter Ordeal was printed before Treasure was a thing.
Sure.
So like those all count,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I sack 8 Treasure, Wrath, Bitter Ordeal,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
try asking somebody if they've played a land this turn.
Yeah.
Right, the most binary, like, did you do this? Yes or no. How often is the response? I don't know.
We're recording a podcast right now, and I think it's likely I played a land this turn.
Okay, good. Yeah,
That's how.
Yeah.
That's how fraught that question.
yeah,
is.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that, and that's like that's the first thing you do, dog.
I've been
you
playing-
get up
yeah.
in the morning and you brush your teeth or whatever. You untap, you draw. You're like, well, I'm going to play my land.
Yeah.
Landfall enjoyers, please give me a second. I get it. Sequencing matters, but like. Yeah, you just play your land, but people forget that constantly.
Every
It's
game.
like
or
lunch.
drawing. People won't draw for the turn, which is absurd because the game just gives you a free card and you don't want it.
But they're thinking about something else.
But they've got something else on your mind.
Yeah.
Now track Gravestorm, dog.
I love the
Right?
idea that in your analogy that someone gets to lunchtime and they're like, "Did I play land this
I
turn?"
play a land this turn. I don't feel like I played a land, but maybe I played a land.
So where we putting Gravestorm?
I'm fine with D.
D?
D
Yeah,
is
all
fine
right.
for Gravestorm.
D8 for
Better luck
Gravestorm.
next time, Gravestorm.
Next up, Splice.
On to Arcane.
Just
No,
technically it's just
It's
Splice.
just Splice now?
It's only ever been Splice onto Arcane.
Did they make
but
one card that's
No,
spliced on
there's a
something
card that splices onto
else? Modern Horizons. They gave
there's an
sorcery, right?
yeah. There's
Oh,
an
okay.
it's not Evermind.
So
No.
Splice onto
Yeah.
quality means as you cast a spell with the quality. For now, I'll just say Arcane. Splice onto Arcane. and a cost means as you play an arcane spell, you can reveal this card from your hand and pay its splice cost, and if you do, you add the effects of this card to the spell you are casting, but this card stays in your hand.
Man, it's so cool, and they just fumbled it.
And they literally add, the way that it works is it literally adds that rules text to the spell in order. So technically things resolve, the abilities will go in order depending on the order that they are spliced or whatever. I think that's potentially relevant. I'm not entirely clear. Maybe I'm just needlessly confusing it. But so in Kamigawa block, they had instant arcane, or I think sorceries.
There were
Yep,
sorceries
sorceries
too.
too. Both.
That were just subtype arcane, and then there were other cards which were not all necessarily arcane themselves that had splice onto arcane. And if you cast an arcane spell, then you could go, also, this is in my hand, and I pay this added cost, and that goes onto this card, but the card that I am splicing stays in my hand. Ta-da!
This card, the mechanic's so cool, but like, try explaining it to someone who's played Magic for a week. I don't know. Maybe it's fine.
Oh man,
It's extremely complicated. It's like one of the most complicated things.
it is fun. It
Yeah.
does feel cool and good, and like it has this vibe that equipment and auras give, but it allows it to be used for instants and sorceries, which is nice, right? Like you don't have the permanence of like, you know, I have a creature that's wearing a big suit of armor, but you do have that feeling of like, I took one action figure and I glued the arms of another action figure on top. And that's kind of cool, right? Like making your own spell is kind of, there are literal board games based around this. Like there are successful popular board games that the gameplay is splice onto arcane.
Yeah.
And like that's cool. But in Magic the Gathering, it's just kind of brutal.
The thing is, every time I've tried, like every time I've been in the limited environment or cube or whatever, or even in some weird constructed situations, whenever I'm like, oh, I have an opportunity to do Splice Under Arcane, I've always been disappointed. It's always like, okay, I guess I'm going to wait one more turn so I have the 7th land so I can do the thing. And then you play that, you do that, and then it takes a couple more turns for you to lose, and you look back, you're like, yeah, I was just supposed to shock your guy like on turn 4. It was going to feel bad then, but like I probably would have got one more turn or maybe a coin flip to win the game or something, you know? Like it's like every time I've tried it, it's just been like, this wasn't really it, dog.
It's so funny too because it's like people look at it and go, haha, Kamigawa. But like it was the best thing to do in multiple draft environments.
Sure.
Like Glacial Ray, Dampen Thought, Candles Glow.
Right.
Like that kind of game
Yeah,
plan.
you could those decks exist.
Like they were just, they were in, I mean, obviously in Kamigawa block, the set where this is introduced, Glacial Ray .deck, Arcane .deck was like one of the best things that you could do, if not the best thing. Maybe Kabuto Moth disagrees, but
sure,
you know, you got or Dampen Thought. Like that was a big like breakout deck where people are like, oh, we should just be milling you and playing every arcane spell.
Yeah, and some idiots.
Glacial
And one
Ray,
of the modern
Glacial Ray is 1 in a red and deals 2 damage.
Yes.
And it is arcane and it also has splice for the same cost, 1
Yeah.
in a red.
Yeah.
So you
Love
can
this
just sort
card.
of splice Glacial Rays onto other Glacial Rays.
James, can we pull up the art for Glacial Ray? It's just a bird shooting ice beams out of its mouth and eyes. I love this card.
It took me a while. First time I saw this, took me a while to parse what the art was. But yeah, it's just a bird firing ice lasers.
Yeah, fun fact. I don't think this ever shows up on another card ever. Like this kind of bird or spirit or whatever.
No.
It just doesn't show up. Yeah, which is a shame.
You're right, by the way. Modern Horizons, there was a card very cutely named Splicer's Skill, which makes a golem, and it also has splice. But this is splice onto instant or sorcery. And there's one other card from one of the Lord of the Rings scene boxes, Fell Beast's Shriek, which also splices onto instant or sorcery.
Was there not another blue one that drew a card?
I know what you're
Oh,
yes,
you're right,
Everdream.
yeah.
Everdream. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that one as well.
Yeah, and like competitive play, right? Like it's
In
there was
Dragonstorm,
a
we talked about before too.
the desperate ritual splicing.
exactly.
There was a combo deck effectively in standard at the time that like killed you with splicing onto Arcane and sacrificing Hanakami to return, like Soulless Revival loops.
Oh, okay,
like
yeah.
it has pedigree, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But it sucks ass, dog. Like it. I want to put it in C because I do think Splice onto Instant and Sorcery is cool and
Right.
like product and like Modern Horizons like mystery booster weirdo draft format.
Okay.
Like it's a cool. There's room to grow, and like it's just again it's cool. Gravestorm is just not a mechanic.
Do you feel like maybe the problem with Splice then? Sorry, I actually didn't draft a lot of original Kamigawa. The one I had gone into, the draft I had gone into where I had like learned that this milling plan was a real thing. There were like 3 other people who had also read that article.
Yeah.
And so that didn't happen for me either. And I just didn't play a ton of Kamigawa Limited. But is the mechanic just like it either does the thing too well and then you're just like hard locking your opponent out because all your spells are like 3 spells or 2 spells each, or it does nothing because like you don't get to the mana value or the mana point, like the mana accumulation where you can start doing it if you get overrun? You know what I mean? Like it has that.
I think that there's enough play, kind of what you commented on,
Yeah.
with like Transmute, honestly, where
Right.
it's like, yeah, sometimes you just throw out that Glacial Ray because you
Okay.
need to. Like you're like, I am going to die because my opponent's going to put like an aura on this creature and get it at a Glacial Ray range.
Right.
So I need to use this card to shoot, or the like lost value of you're like, I wanted to play the adventure and then play the creature.
Right.
But sometimes you just play Bonecrusher Giant because you need to put a 3-mana 4/3 in play. So it wasn't. It's kind of funny because it's a mechanic that could easily be like broken.
Right.
Like you put the wrong thing on this card, and all of a sudden you're like, we don't want to give that to everybody. But I think they understand that, and that's why all the splice onto instants and sorceries we've gotten have been like, yeah, draw a card for 3 mana.
Make a golem.
Make a
Right.
golem.
Pretty well balanced.
Yeah, they're, and
Not
they're
too scary.
they're more expensive, so they kind of acknowledge like, yeah, if you pay 3 mana to make a 3/3, great. You pay 4 mana on top of a 1 mana spell and like turn 5 to make another 3/3. That's fine too. You paid 5 mana, all right? You got
Right.
like a worse owl bear sort of card.
All right, where are we putting it?
I want to put it at C.
Okay, let's put it at C.
All right.
I'm very passionate about Kamigo.
I know. I wasn't trying to slight it.
Okay.
Next, a much more recent mechanic, impending. This is from Duskmorn. This is there's the cycle of overlords with impending, which is not suspend. So impending N for a cost says if you cast a spell for its impending cost, it enters with 5 time counters and is not a creature until the last time counter is removed. At the beginning of your end step, remove a time counter from it. So they are using time counters, and it feels similar to suspend, but it's not because it is in play as an enchantment. It's just not a creature. So the example here, Overlord of the Bale Merc, 3 black for a 5/5. Whenever it enters or attacks, mill 4 cards, then you can return a non-avatar creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. But the impending 5 cost is only 1 and a black. So on turn 2, you can put this out, do the mill, do the thing, and then 4 or 5 turns later, it just goes, boom, I'm a creature now. Happens at the end steps. You don't get to attack with it the turn that the time counter comes off, but you do get to block with it.
I'm kind of not a big fan of this mechanic.
Really? Okay.
Do you love it? I just feel like I like that they're like, okay, we can give you a cheap version of you get the trigger, and then you also just get to put in some time, just like suspend, and then you get the card. However, they tweaked it enough so that your knowledge of suspend is actually harmful if you're trying to remember how this plays out, and it's complicated enough that it's a little bit annoying. It's not daybound, nightbound, but impending to me, it's like, okay, you got to remember this isn't a creature, but it is an enchantment. It is on the battlefield, but it has counters on it, and you're going to remember to take one of those off at the end step. And then I actually like this part. I like how you paid the cheap cost, and then you still just have to wait. Once you've gotten all the counters off, your creature or your card is a creature now. Your opponent gets sorcery speed time to deal with it before you can attack again and get the trigger again. I like that part about it. Very balanced. But it's just like a lot of busy work. I don't like that about it. It's a lot of like remembering what this does and keeping track of the board state.
You got to jump through a lot of hoops to get expensive cards that you can play earlier that will then like for sure turn into the expensive version comparatively, right? Like making a figure of Destiny, right? People love that. That's a small little guy that gets big and is a mana sink, and you draw it early and you draw it late and you're great. Doing the reverse is tough just because also it's like, well, I want the big thing. It's like, well, yeah, you can get the big thing, but you have to get a nothing burger first. Or like you have to play like, this is a powerful effect, but also there are some like draft formats where you're not playing 2 mana, mill 4, get back a card or whatever. Or the like the green one is 3 mana, you get a tapped land token that is like a rainbow land, which is like fine, but also kind of Gift of Paradise adjacent. Like it does make a new token. Like there's not a good 1-to-1, but like 3 mana for
Gift of Paradise gains you
growth.
2 life.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's it's hard to separate Impending from the Overlords because they're the only cards with it.
Yeah.
But also it feels like this is, if they come back to it, like what else are you going to do? Like it's at its most exciting when you're like, wow, I get to include 5 drops. And so I can play it for cheap. And then like that cheap card will convert to something bigger, kind of like Adventure. People talk about how like kicker is, every mechanic is kicker or whatever reductive jerk off comment they want to make. Actually, every mechanic is just Adventure. It's just you want one thing
Small
early,
now, bigger later.
Yeah, and it's great. It's fun.
From a flavor perspective, I do appreciate Impending. I mean, it says it right there in the name that there's like, it's, they go, all right, this is going to happen to you later. And you're sort of sitting there going, geez, I have in 4 turns, that thing's going to start hitting me. And then you do have this sort of, the creeping sense of dread. But
it's cool to get people to play 5 drops.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's kind of cool.
That said, I'm not ranking them, but I'm also very medium on this mechanic.
Yeah,
You're allowed to rank them too, Graham. I don't know if we have any rules that say you can't chime in here.
Nothing in the rules says Graham can't rank.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Folks, in chat, by that I mean the comment section, post rank Graham to support Graham for his ranking endeavors.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
If you could find 9 other Grahams in society and then rank Graham with them,
I'd put this as C or B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could maybe be a B on Impending. Like, I agree that the flavor's there. And it's not like, it's not super complicated. Like, I know we read it and like everyone can understand it. Like, you could explain it to a new player or whatever. But then when you actually physically play it, like I recently was like, that thing just can't attack, right? I can still tear it or whatever. Like, it's black, but I'm like, I can blow that up, right? Like, no, it's just an enchantment right now. I'm like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's a creature on the stack.
Yeah, So just because like it's in play with a dice on it, I just find that like it's on the battlefield, but it's not there yet. I find it confusing. So maybe I'm not the only one, and like that part of it is just kind of annoying. The part where it's doing the Impending is a bit of board business that adds to the complexity of the game.
I also don't like that it incentivizes people to. I'm going to use the word cheat, but I don't mean it in the like Bertoncini way.
Right.
I mean it in the like, I'm going to get this big idiot into play, and then I'm going to flicker it, and then it's going to come back, and I'm going to get so much value. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. Like in practice, it's just kind of rolling your eyes. Like the Flickerwist and the Philia and whatnot. They're just the play patterns are just like not the coolest thing in the world, in my opinion.
Sure.
Not the most fun.
All right. Do you want to put it at B or do you want to put it at C?
I'll put it at C.
Okay.
Let's save B for some of the real juice.
I'm fine with C.
All right. We haven't had an S or an A ranked yet today.
I thought we were going to A rank Transmute.
I don't think we're going to yet, but let's find out. Our next is Completed.
I forgot about this one.
Yeah, this is a Planeswalker only mechanic, which has Phyrexian hybrid mana. So you can pay. It's if you cast The reminder of the Phyrexian mana is that you can pay it either with that color of mana or 2 life. In the case of these Planeswalkers, if you pay the cost with life, then the Planeswalker enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters for each of those.
And
pips,
all these
you opt to pay with
all these
life.
planeswalkers stayed completed, right?
Yeah.
Right? There's no way to undo the process.
There's no way to undo the process, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, you see, Jace was pretending, I think, or something, or whatever happened there.
He's a big double agent.
He's fine.
I love
I don't
fiction.
I don't understand how Nissa got better, but Jace had some sort of brain thing.
He's kind of like Jesus, right? You can't ever kill him. Is
Right.
that what Jesus is known
Crucial
for?
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes back 3 days later. I don't know. I always just kind of thought of these cards as like, okay, the loyalty thing can matter, and like we see with Nissa, Ascendant, she refers to her loyalty, or like I think a Johnny, like the green white of Johnny that had Phyrexian mana, was the second ability not online if you paid the life, maybe. Anyways, the abilities care about it, right?
Yeah, you can't use it
wasn't.
right away.
You can't actually -3 if you paid 3 mana
for a Johnny Sleeper
for
agent.
Sleeper Agent. Yeah, so that's clever. That's some cool design space. I guess this is a mechanic. Sorry, I kind of didn't think of this as a mechanics as much as I just thought of like, oh yeah, the planeswalkers from this block have this modal casting cost.
Can you name all of them?
Probably not, but we just saw 3, so there's those 3, and then I think Nahiri.
Yeah, there's a Nahiri.
Okay,
I remember one of them only because we relentlessly bullied him for being a big dumb idiot, which is Luca.
Oh yeah, Luca.
Stupid asshole.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this guy. But yes, this was his last printing. Did he get 3 cards, including like a
3, yeah.
Planeswalker deck or something?
One was a
like a
double face card
The
in Strixhaven.
Mina,
yeah.
Was there a completed Domri, or did Domri just get killed?
That small child was crushed to death.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is it those 5 probably?
Are there other ones, James?
There's
Oh yeah,
another one.
yes, I remember.
There's
Vraska.
7.
There's Vraska.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, Vraska.
Yeah, Vraska.
Betrayal Sting.
Betrayal Sting, right?
Yeah.
It's like whichever one combos with Innkeeper's Talent, right?
Yeah.
Or one of the blue
Remember when
brown
people
cards.
thought that this card was going to have to get banned
Yeah.
for like a day?
Yeah.
I mean,
there
that's-
aren't often 2-card combos in Standard.
That's true.
Yeah.
I play with some of these cards somewhat regularly. They show up like this. Nissa shows up in Cube.
Yeah.
I
play this Nissa in Highlander.
It's good. But like I don't. It's not inspiring. It doesn't evoke
Yeah.
joy. It doesn't evoke flavor.
Yeah.
For me, like I've just it.
It doesn't register to me as a mechanic. Like,
Yeah, I
don't know.
honestly, I'm
I
just
guess
like
casting spells is a mechanic.
I guess I have to do this.
How come when you embrace Phyrexia, they're weaker?
Because they're cheating.
Yeah, I don't
They're
know
cheating death.
why.
So you also lose
Yeah.
loyalty.
I thought Phyrexia was supposed to make them more powerful.
At least that's what they
Okay.
were told, I guess.
So I'd put this at F.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Like, yeah,
D-tiering
it's
it.
just
Yeah.
it
It doesn't really count.
it is a mechanic that is supposed to be evocative. It is supposed to
Right.
like feel like you are cheating because you have sided with Phyrexia or whatever, and it just doesn't feel like that.
They did it with the art.
Okay,
I mean,
They are
the
cool.
art for these 5 or these 7 completed planeswalkers.
That's true.
A tier.
I like that the art references other Planeswalker art, but now they're all messed
The
up.
border's
I do
cool
like
too.
that. I like that too.
Now, mind you, my secret layer versions of these cards, they are all Furbies, so I don't know anything about the art.
Was there? Oh, it was Karn, right? There was a completed Karn too, wasn't there?
No,
I don't know who's the
Because there's a
seventh one?
Karn. Because
You
wait,
missed
because
Tameo.
Tameo, right? Completed
that
Tameo.
Tameo's good too.
Because there's a March of the Machines Aftermath Karn. That's why I was thinking that he had gotten completed. Cause he was in
No,
that
he just
set.
lost his spark. But I think you'll find
Okay.
that the silver that he's made of allows him to be resistant to Phyrexian oil.
According to my calculations.
Our next mechanic is phasing.
Sorry.
Sorry. What are we putting in SNA today?
Actually,
This is going to be the last 8 mechanics.
Actually,
Disphasing goaded.
I love that you picked Taniwa as the card, James. Taniwa is 3 blue for a 7/7 with phasing and trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, all the lands you control phase out. So, okay. Phasing, it reads, this phases in or out before you untap during each of your untap steps. While it's phased out, it's treated as though it doesn't exist. Now, phasing has most recently been used in like some commander cards where you just sort of go like, this phases out as like a way to save something like Teferi's Protection or whatever, or like
Slip out the back also.
Yeah.
Is phasing, isn't it?
so
That was
just
fair.
sort of like it phases out. It's still there. It's still in the battlefield, but it doesn't technically like exist. But phasing, as it reads on Taniwa here, is that every turn it is either there or it's not. It like goes away and comes back, kinda.
And most of these cards don't have haste, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like suspend.
So this may be a little controversial.
Okay.
I think we could give phasing A.
Really?
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me
I'd
out.
love to.
So, Wizards has started using phasing a lot. I think that's fair to say.
They have,
like
actually,
pretty
yeah.
frequently.
Yeah, it didn't have any printings for like 20 years.
But they've recognized
brought it back recently.
that
Yeah.
using phasing in mostly white and blue can be used as a way to temporarily remove or protect a card or a player without using exile, because there's a ton of baggage that comes with exile. There's a ton of cards exiling and coming back leads to repeat ETBs, leads to awkward interactions depending on who controls the containment priest. There are cards that care about things getting put into exile, removing things from exile, like things that refer to being exiled with, which can all be a little awkward, right? Like, is it still exiled with this if I remove it while it's in exile, or if it comes back from exile? Yada, yada, yada. The point being, phasing actually fills a pretty great role in design. And we have seen it not just in Commander product, but also in Standard, like it is, and at lower rarity, right? At uncommon, which is kind of indicative of they're like, yeah, somebody that opens a pack of this will understand it. And I do think phasing is pretty easy to understand on a explain it to me like I'm 5 sort of level of it's like, what do you mean? Like, what does phasing mean? Oh, just pretend it's not there. Yeah. Like it just goes like, boop, and then it comes back, right? Or it's just, you seen those memes where the guy goes like this and then fades away? What if we reverse that meme and he came back, right? Like, I think it's pretty easy to just be like, oh, pretend that's not there.
Sure.
It's just not there. It'll come back. It doesn't ETB or anything. It's just like, pretend it's like, this is gay baby jail, right? And I think that's cool. I think that they've found, because again, we are so normalized to the exile zone, but like, it's kind of a mess, right?
Well, there's a lot of cards, as you say, that care about it now.
Yeah.
So handling, exiling things, yes, has been more complicated each year.
Yeah. So I think that I want to give it A because it gets around a lot of push design trends for ETBs. Does not involve the exile zone, which is now ripe for exploration and different ways to utilize it, and also just makes for more situations where people are going to get confused by it when it's exile with A or B. Wizards shows that they want to use it and keep using it, and like phasing for the longest time held the same status as like banding. Right?
Yeah.
People were like, haha, hee phasing.
Yep.
That's another button, by the way. And they're just like, nah, dog, we're just using this. Commander players get it. Commander players, they've all been hit on the head with a frying pan, dog. And they understand phasing.
I think I want to give you a nod here. Slip out the back and Teferi's Protection are easier to understand than Taniwa. Mm-hmm. But my initial desire for this is a C or a D, because to get someone to like understand what phasing is enough to like draft the card or whatever, or choose to put it in their deck, and then also execute showing off they understand phasing during a game. It's like what banding actually is. Banding is like this thing where everyone thinks it's too complicated, and then you explain it, and you're like, yeah, it's not that bad. You can figure it out. Mm-hmm. It's just whoever controls the band assigns the combat damage, right? and like then in game it's like, oh, banding has these other problems. Not that it's too complicated, but phasing actually is pretty complicated.
Yeah, but I don't think you should judge mechanics based off of like the comprehensive rules guide breakdown of them, because that's just not how like 95% of the population of the game plays.
Sure. I just think, I'm just worried that like actually, kids or like casual players seeing Taniwa are just like, what? And then I have to.
Oh, we're not showing the kids the phasing from Weatherlight.
Sure.
So I was going to say,
if we could if we only have to judge phasing from slip out the back and Teferi's protection, I'm fine with A.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because I was going to say like the phasing as it was originally, was like the thing where it's like this creature has phasing, and it will go away or come back every turn, and that's weird and sucks and whatever. And then in M21, when they were like, "Ooh, Teferi needs some sort of weird time magic thing.
Right.
Let's have him phase things out." And then after that point, sort of, there's been a lot of cards printed since then that is just like this phases out or something phases out, and they're they are using it now in a way that is different than it was originally, and they're exclusively using it that way now. Like there's no new cards that inherently have phasing being printed.
And who are we to judge them for mistakes that they've made regarding phasing in the first like 3 years of their game? You know, like it's hard to be like,
we're the co-hosts of Tap Tap Conceit.
That's true. But I don't know, if we're ranking this, I think it's better to rank it based off of how this card is used, like the most common usage of phasing, and not what if we introduce this mechanic in year 3 of our like game where we still don't understand how the rules work.
All right, let's slap it in A. Redemption arc for phasing.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
I do like also that it was 2004 is when the unhinged card Old Fogey was printed, and Old Fogey had phasing because it was in 2004. It was already this ancient mechanic that we will never be returning to.
Yeah,
and then it wasn't until M21 when they were like, actually,
they figured out just don't put it on your creature.
If we only have one-shot effects that say something phases out, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Next, Embalm. This is from Amonkhet. It's mostly in white and blue, and it's you pay the Embalm cost to exile this card from your graveyard, and you make a token that is a copy of it, except it is a white zombie instead. So it still has all the same abilities and the same stats, but it is a white zombie, and you can only embalm as a sorcery.
I actually think this one's a banger.
Yeah, my only downside for this is that you need very specific tokens.
Yeah.
But also, I think that is an upside in some cases. It's
The art on the tokens was great.
It's a downside in that like it's kind of annoying in draft.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you just don't have access to some of the rare tokens or whatever. But like the feeling of embalming a sacred cat and you pull out this token or any of the embalm tokens, and you're just like, one, I came prepared. Two, like, doesn't this rip ass?
Yeah,
like it's
so cool.
much better than all the alternatives of like, well, what if I just pull it out of the sleeves?
Right.
That's the classic Magic players. Like, well, it's out of the sleeve, so it's exerted, but if it's really out of the sleeve, it's embalmed. And then it's just it lets you print dumbasses like that, where you're like, here's my snapping drake or whatever, just like a 4-mana 3-power flyer, and then when it dies, well, okay, you killed my 3-power flyer, but on turn 7, when I've drawn my 7th land, I get a 3-power flyer.
There you go.
It helps, longevity. The only downside is that it's very tied to a very specific theme.
Right.
So it's a little tough using it, but I think you could expand it. You could probably expand it beyond Amonkhet.
Surely there's an Innistrad version where
Embalmed.
you make it not always have to be a white zombie.
Yeah.
Right? You do a little rules change that it just is whatever color we've decided it's going to be, which the Amonkhet ones all stay white, but like, Innistrad, like there's literally people that like embalm stuff all the time on Innistrad.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Yeah, or like any place with runes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you got ruin, like Chandalar, if we ever go to Chandalar, like there are some tombs and runes there.
Or Kaldheim.
Yeah,
Kaldheim,
You could do it in Kaldheim.
Kaldheim zombies.
Yeah. Pick a place where people die, like, and a place where they come back. Guess what? That's every set of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
You can figure it out. Yeah, I'm fine to put this in S tier.
You want to put Embalm in S tier? I'm fine with it.
Yeah. What else? I mean,
S tier.
We have to save ourselves.
We need some spots. Embalm, honestly, though, is an S tier mechanic.
It's just so fun.
Like, it's great. It's not too complicated. I don't know if there's any of the cards that weren't like pretty well balanced, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to keep track of your graveyard a bit, but like
Yeah, you
you
just
want to
move.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do
You'll do that because you're playing with graveyard cards. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of cards that interact with the graveyard, Persist is next. So Persist reads, when this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, you return it to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it.
that. Yeah. When this ability got printed, it wasn't immediately busted. It needed a few more cards to get
They
printed.
just needed to include with a -1/-1 counter and a finality counter.
Right, yeah,
And
exactly.
then it would be
Then it'd
fine.
be like an S tier mechanic. Because Persist is fun.
Yeah.
Like playing in these draft environments, like you had the Persist versus the not infect wither creatures,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, you could persist as long as you didn't block Ram Gang. And like, I don't know, getting two bodies like we just saw with Embalm, people love that. We love it when our creatures come back from dying. With this one, you don't have to pay more mana, but the creature's smaller. It's still fantastic. Obviously, Kitchen Fink's a really well-loved staple. Good example.
I miss playing this card, man.
Yeah. We all longed for the time when Kitchen Finks was playable. I don't know, but then they wanted to work with +1/+1 counters a lot in the future of Magic, which makes sense. It's one of the things that they've gotten a bunch of good designs out of.
This was the block, correct me if I'm wrong, because this was originally from Shadowmoor, Kitchen Finks, which I guess I didn't read out. It's 1 and then 2 hybrid mana for a 3/2. When it comes into play, you gain 2 life, and it has Persist. So you play it, you gain 2 life, you trade it off for something, then it comes back. As a 2/1, you gain another 2 life. Maybe you trade off again, and then it eventually dies. This was the set, Shadowmoor, or at least this block, where they introduced the the counter negation rule, where a +1/+1 counter and a -1/-1 counter cancel each other out.
each other out.
It might have been, yeah. I don't actually remember, but that sounds.
I
about
think
right.
that's
same
correct,
time.
yeah.
So if the Kitchen Finks has persisted once, and then you put a +1/+1 counter on it, the two counters vorp each other away, and then the Kitchen Finks is free to persist again.
Yeah.
I don't really want to put like, for starters, all the cards that really make Persist like the combo menace that it turned into are from outside of Shadowmoor and from like years down the line, right?
Yeah.
Malira and Offenza. There's something from Vizier of Remedies.
Well, wait. If you're going to the place where you're like, you got to judge Persist just based around the set it came out in, then why aren't we treating phasing that way?
Well, I'm not going there, but also I think that any decision that they made in the first 5 years of a game that's been going on for 35 years
Sure.
is a little more defensible than
some
something
passes.
after, like 15 years, 14 years is when Lorwyn came out after 2007.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
2007 for Lord. So this card would have been printed in 2008. So like 15 years.
Yeah, like I think 15 years down the line, there's like I will hold this a little more accountable. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But like when they made Kitchen Finks, somebody's going. Maybe there was somebody that was like, "Hey, what if we print a card that synergizes with this and gains infinite life?" And they're like, "Okay, well that happens." But like, I don't really think you can be like, "Wait, hold up." In 6 years, John Connor will, like.
Yeah, I just mean that like as I look at the mechanic now, I like think of like what people actually use it for, and I'm like, well, whatever. You know, it is a way that you can do an infinite combo.
Yeah, I'm not putting this that highly either, because like -1/-1 counters stink, and if we had more Cauldron of Souls and more like Pyrrhic Revivals and less,
The
things
cards,
and
just broadly speaking, the
I
cards,
goblins with persist. Yeah.
the cards that they were just mentioning are, or at least earlier when you're talking about like Malira, for example, or it means that counters can't go on your creatures, so the creature comes back and doesn't get its -1/-1 counter, so it just persists forever. So you can just keep like feeding it into a sacrifice outlet infinitely.
Yeah,
and
but
that's obviously
But is it even that bad? Like, maybe this is modern Magic talking, but like,
No, maybe you're right. Maybe
know?
all the combos with persist where I'm like, infinite combo, you won the game. That's no fun. It's like, yeah, but if you're doing it with Kitchen Finks, it usually required 3 cards.
3 cards, all of them usually creatures, or like 2 out of 3 of them creatures.
And so you're actually playing like a pretty fair deck as far as things go.
Yeah, and I think the nod against it is again more so on the like people that are like, what if I don't get -1/-1 counters? And it's like, okay, I guess, right? Like that feels so. It's hard to again put the fall on the Kitchen Finks for like. We need a limited 2-mana card that prevents -1/-1 counters for Egypt. I don't know. I don't want to put this highly.
all right. Well,
Like where do you want to put this?
I want to put it at B. I
Yeah, we
think
can put it at B.
I could be talked into A because I do have a lot of. I realize that like its combo problems are actually not. They're not that bad in the grand scheme of things. The like persist combo infinite win the game situation. That's like it's convoluted enough that's not nearly the most annoying.
It's really hard to get mad at combos that involve multiple creatures and the graveyard, and the creatures are small.
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know?
did you want to interrupt this combo at all?
You could have.
You,
You could have.
any way,
Yeah,
any card that you played that says target
Without,
on it
and you
will
didn't
do
even
it.
have to put weird cards. You
No.
could have just played shock.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if when you lose to the persist infinites, it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, eventually they got there. They probably could have just attacked you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would be fine with persistent A. It was impactful. People know how it works. It's not too complicated. It has a fun part.
Let's put it at A because I imagine there's a storm coming.
Okay, let's put it at A.
Not actual storm, although it might be actual storm.
Yeah.
well, not yet. But the next one is interesting because it's almost like it is a mechanic, but it's sort of like half a mechanic. So I don't know how we're going to judge this.
we're gonna put it at D. That's what we've been doing for those all day.
Probably. We're looking at ingest. So this was from Battle for Zendikar, and it's whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of their library.
It's the processor mechanic, right?
Yeah, but
Or no, it's the opposite of the processor.
it's the opposite. It
mechanic.
sets up for the processors.
Right.
The processors
Right.
did stuff with exiled cards your opponent controlled. All ingest does is when it deals combat damage to a player, they exile the top card of their library.
Both these mechanics didn't make it out of limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lowest possible tier.
Honestly, that's fair.
It's kind
That's-
of inoffensive, but
Yeah.
I think that's almost worse. Right? It's so funny.
Maybe we should put it at C.
It's a mechanic that
Yeah.
effectively mills,
Yeah.
and people like mill.
Yeah.
But who gives a hell about ingest?
Yeah.
Some people forget about it.
It only does one
I did.
at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You forgot about ingest.
I forgot about it, and I
you
was.
love.
I love this
you love
plane.
this
I love
block.
like this set. Like
Yeah.
the set that came after
Yeah.
this is my favorite set, and already that set had kind of forgotten about it.
Yeah, we are going to put cohort at D though. Just so we please, we got to put cohort
We
at
put
D.
Surge so high.
I'll put Surge very high.
Yeah. No, we did already. In
Oh, we
one of
did?
the first few episodes.
Good job.
We did. We put
Good
Surge
job.
really
Good
high, and
job.
I was like, "Well, I'm not going to stop you from
We're
putting
so smart.
an Oath of the Gatewatch
All
mechanic."
right, where are we
at A.
putting
It's fine.
ingest?
D.
D.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Moving on then to Unearth.
Oh yeah,
S tier.
S tier.
Basically embalmed, but even better.
On.
You don't need to go find the token.
Yeah.
So Unearth.
Unearth is such a good mechanic.
I'll read you Hellspark Elemental here, 1 and a red for a 3/1 with trample and haste. At the beginning of your end step, you sacrifice it. And then Unearth for 1 and a red, which in this case is the same cost, but it doesn't have to be. It's just you return it from your graveyard to the battlefield, it gains haste, and then you exile it at the beginning of the next end step.
Oh,
Or if it would leave the battlefield, Unearth only is a sorcerer.
Oh yeah.
This mechanic has pretty much never committed any sins. Like, it's just fun. You can mill yourself for value. You can make dumb attacks.
I was
you
happy
can
to see this
sacrifice
come
your
back
creature.
in Brothers War.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They figured
Yeah.
out like, wait, what if we unearthed artifact?
Yeah.
It's like, yep, that sounds cool and thematic.
Absolutely,
and
you
like plays
can.
reasonably well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unearth rips ass. It's so cool. One of the things that Magic players don't do is attack. They don't like to attack because they're like, oh, what if I lose my thing? It's like, yeah, that happens.
What if your opponent loses the game?
But Unearth encourages them to attack and be like, yeah, if I lose my thing, I'll just get it back again. That's fine. Whatever. Or you just have cards with like, you got to sack
Hey,
this.
guess what? If you put this in your deck,
Yeah.
you're going to lose it.
Yeah, you're going to lose it, but you'll get it back later. Hellspark Elemental, a powerful Unearth card. Hell's Thunder. Like
That's a
Wow,
fun one.
Hell's Thunder.
God, I love Hell's Thunder. Yeah,
It's just an angry cloud.
Yeah. Unearth is so sick.
That weird Stitcher card.
Oh,
gets
Fate
played in
Stitcher?
combo. Fate Stitcher.
Yeah.
You played that at a Monday night recently.
I've played some Fate Stitcher
Yeah.
combos, some Sidraxis Spectre. Like you get some cool. Like it's just really cool because you get to play these vulnerable cards. At times, you can play cards like Sidraxis Spectre is a 3/2 flyer for 3 in Grixis colors with flying. When it hits them, they discard a card. So it has flying, but still a pretty vulnerable kind of card.
Pretty fair. Kind of below, slightly below rate kind of card.
But like there are these kitchen table kind of cards, like Ophidians are a classic example.
Yeah.
Of like a 3-mana 2/2, no abilities. If I hit you, I draw a card. That's so dope, but it's so hard to get that connection. But you will try to make plays to get that connection. And those plays may work out, but also your thing may die because it's just a weirdo, vulnerable creature that like you're jumping through hoops to let it hit, right? And so tagging Unearth to some of these cards lets you take that risk. And if it doesn't pan out the first time, you can set up for the turn where it does pan out.
Yeah.
And even if you're like, I did it. I used 5 cards, had to wait 8 turns, but eventually I hit you and I drew a card. Or I hit you and I made you discard a card. And that feels so good.
Yeah, and
I
unlike
like that's great when you feel good about what just happened, even though you like did something not powerful.
Right.
That's an S, brother.
And
Like that's an S.
I like it at S. Unlike Splice onto Arcane, you don't have to keep doing the thing, and like you don't have to keep it a secret from your opponent either. And also, it's a lot more flexible. Like we talked about Splice onto Arcane before. Like you want to like get to your 7 mana or whatever, and then like play your one big spell with all the splices.
Yeah.
And then you play the smaller version next turn, and so on. But with Unearth, you're like, okay, yeah, I probably am like trying to like trade a bunch of my stuff and then like unearth 3 things on the same turn or whatever. But if I just unearth 1 and attack with the other 2, and each turn I attack with what I've already got and my unearth creature, like that's great too. Like it's flexible and it feels good either way.
right. Yeah. And it players really well in the first block it came out.
All right.
For what it's
So that's going to go
That's an
cleanly
S.
at S.
That's an S.
Bang. Unearth. I said bang. Wait.
He's finding a really cool
Bang.
icon for
There
it.
it
There we
is.
go.
These are when I should mention when these have icons, they're the ones from Arena,
Oh, cool.
but not
Neat.
like Transmute does not have an icon on Arena for obvious reasons. So, all right, this is an interesting one. Miracle is next.
Pretty divisive. Yeah, pretty controversial mechanic.
So Miracle lets you cast a spell for a alternate cost, generally much cheaper, if it is the first spell you have drawn this turn. Wheeler has entered attack mode. He's leaning forward.
You might as well start.
I think it's an S. The only downside to Miracle is that, I mean, people have probably seen the short with Brian Kibler complaining about. He's like, I had to change how I draw my card for the turn.
Yeah.
It's like, Brian, dog, love you. You're a bit of a monster. Like, we've seen what you do with those cards. That is a negative, too. Like, it did. I played Miracles in Legacy. I played Miracles in Standard. Like, it's just, I've been playing these cards since they came out. Canlander players have been playing them, for a long time.
They're important.
There's
not very
pretty
many
good.
cards with Miracle. None of them have been overlooked or ignored.
And it did change how I draw my
Not
card
just
for
you.
the turn.
We all had to. This set came out, and we had to go through the collective trauma of relearning what to do with our hands.
But it did
while
it.
We're playing.
It did it in the way that like those Twitch bots that tell you to drink water are like, oh right, I should be doing this anyways. It's like, very rarely it'll come up, but there should be like you should probably be drawing in such a way where you're like, okay, draw step. Do I want to do anything? Because things change. Like draw step is a part of the turn where you may want to make a change before the main phase, especially with cards like sagas and with a lot of like at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase cards that Wizards seems to like to print more often. But Miracle is so dope, dog. Like, doesn't it feel? It feels so good. Like, hallelujah, Terminus. It's cinema. It's cinema as a mechanic. It lets you, like, a lot of the Miracle cards are very expensive up top, but that's okay because also if you've played Terminus, you've hardcast Terminus, and you're like, I needed to do that.
Right.
If you played Metamorphosis Fanatic, you've hardcast Metamorphosis.
You've probably hardcast Metamorphosis.
Right? Like
Terminus, by the way, is 4 white for a sorcery. Put all creatures on the bottom of their owner's libraries, but the miracle cost is only a single white.
Yeah.
There are some downsides to this, right? Again, the whole how you draw.
Yeah.
Also, it's a little weird with like you draw it and it is in your hand, or like you draw it on their turn. You're like, oh shoot, I drew a miracle. And like, do you folks believe me?
Right.
That I've
how many times have we been like, oh shoot, like it was this, right? Like kitchen table games.
But
You're like, trust me.
But in a competitive environment, if you screwed up, hey bud, you screwed up. It's comp. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
In a kitchen table, if somebody's like, I don't believe you, don't play with that person.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just so cool. It's evocative. I love the border.
I do like
for
the border.
Miracle.
I guess like Sylvan Library did sort of set us up, right? Like
Yeah.
we were all playing Sylvan Library for years, and there was like, okay, I have this permanent. You know, it's in play now. My draw step's going to look a little different, and we were like separating our hand from
Yeah.
our recently drawn cards. So
Now, I'm obviously biased. I do have 3 cards that manipulate the top of your library tattooed onto my right arm.
Right.
But, like, that's also very cool.
okay, here's the thing. I want to argue against that. I think although the forcing Magic players to change their habits and like turn them into something else has ups and downs. Mostly, we're going to complain about it, and like legitimately or whatever. But the fact that these cards all made Brainstorm better offends me.
No, that's all right.
Brainstorm
That's all right.
didn't need help.
Yeah, but I think that's okay. Like, you're making the, like, God, the, like, number 13 on the top 100 cards of all time it used to be number 17 or whatever, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Also, there's going to be more crap. We got to put this bad boy at S.
All
Come on,
right,
put this
it
back.
can
It's
have.
so-
It is cinematic.
Hallelujah!
It is
Oh my
cinematic.
God.
It is
Yeah.
fun.
Oh.
It is exciting.
All right.
Are we going to put Epic at S?
No, I'm going to put an epic at F.
because it's also exciting. Sort
We
of.
keep saying F, and our scale goes S through D.
I know what I'm about, son.
All right. Next up, we're looking at Myriad. So this is a card that's shown up primarily in Commander product. It says, whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent other than the defending player, you make a token that is a copy, tapped and attacking the other players, and then you exile the tokens at the end of combat. So,
For each opponent other than the defending player.
yeah, so I attack, we're in a 3-player game. I attack Nelson with this Gold Lust Triad, and then a token of it enters attacking Wheeler.
It's got to be an A or an S for this one, right? It's so cool.
Is it? Okay.
Do you
Some of them have ETB.
do you strongly feel? How do you feel about Myriad?
I'm bristly at the mechanics that only work in multiplayer Magic.
I regret to inform you,
I
and
know.
I feel this too. But
Yeah.
most people play.
You're going to hold my
multiplayer.
hand while you tell me.
No, I'm gesticulating. I could hold your hand.
No, I just mean like I need you to comfort me.
right, yes.
Make me a cup of tea while
I
you
know,
explain to me
I
that
know,
most
babe.
people play
I
four-player
too
Magic games.
I too remember 40-person standard FNMs.
Yeah. The mechanic's fun and cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can have an A. It's fine, I guess.
You've done multiplayer draft formats too.
I have.
You
I
like them?
actually really like Commander Legends.
Yeah.
Even like the first one wasn't as good as Baldur's Gate. I've talked at length about how great Baldur's Gate was, but actually it came out in 2020. Like it's not like anybody was able to give Commander Legends original a fair shot. We played it like once or twice and it was okay.
God, could you imagine them making a new conspiracy with Myriad?
Sure.
Like, God, that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I just think Myriad, like,
it really incentivizes you to attack. So like
bad
we
can it
always have to
How
boost
bad
those
can it be?
mechanic up. Yeah.
I'd put this at A or S.
Okay, well, because it's exclusive of 2-player games, I would
wanna
like
put it
to
at
put it at A.
All right,
And
that's fair.
And I'd like to pretend that there are enough Magic players that kind of mostly only play 2-player Magic that is a relevant
Yeah.
consideration.
I think that's fair.
I'm aware that there's a full 3% of us, but
All right. Next, Bloodthirst. So this is Bloodthirst N. If an opponent was dealt damage this turn, this permanent enters with N +1/+1 counters. So we're looking at Stormblood Berserker. It's 1 and a red for a 1/1. It can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, and it has Bloodthirst 2. So what that means is if an opponent was dealt any damage, this enters with 2 +1/+1 counters. Bloodthirst doesn't care about how much damage was dealt. It's just the Bloodthirst number.
So we've been getting a lot of mechanics today that want you to attack.
Graham-
and we love them.
The Bloodthirst committee has come to a decision.
Okay.
Actually, we didn't talk about this. I want to put this at S.
I'm fine with S.
I think this is kind of a genius.
This is like what you should show someone if you're trying to get them to play Magic.
Yeah.
Like give them the basics, and then as soon as you've got like some vanilla creatures and some like parts of the card and the steps explained, and like, okay, so they have 20 life points, you have 20 life points, and you try and take them away. Then like as soon as possible, show them Stormblood Berserker or Gruul Clan Rager or whatever it is. Yeah. Because like these cards are fun.
Yeah. What is one of the first lessons that you teach newer players? Like, it's just
Spend your mana. I don't know.
Spend your mana, but like do so on after you have attacked.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
it's an early lesson.
you attack them. Don't play your creature beforehand, because then, they go like, oh, you're tapped out. You're not going to have a pump spell.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to have a kill spell or protection spell.
I'll make them think you've got a yip yip.
Yeah, but if you just turn it sideways, you untap, turn that bad boy sideways before you do anything else, you're going to get so many extra points of damage. So it incentivizes you to play better, which is huge. It incentivizes you to attack. It incentivizes you to play the mix-up game of having pump spells, removal, like combat tricks, which is always good gameplay. Like you want people to be giant growthing each other, right?
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't just incentivize you to attack.
Yeah.
It actually incentivizes you to build decks with giant growth, which is like more than we can even ask from a mechanic.
And incentivizes you, it's because Bloodthirst is a very aggressive mechanic, to also, like, you have to think about your sequencing. You have to think about what cards you're also going to play at the top end, because a lot of these aggressive decks, when they're looking for a more expensive card, will go towards haste creatures that push damage, right? Or they may even have that lower down. They'll have cheap haste creatures to push quick damage. And so you kind of have to go like, well, do I spend my mana up front for this haste creature to push damage now? Or do I hit them and then spend my mana post-combat for a Bloodthirst creature and then save the haste creature for later? Maybe I don't play everything into the board and lose the game to a Wrath of God.
Right. The creature, the whole mechanic, right? All the creatures with Bloodthirst kind of try to teach you about that philosophy of fire article, whether you're supposed to like try to cash in at a certain early time or get the maximum amount of damage out of each card. Right?
Bloodthirst is like math blasters, dog. It teaches you by having fun. Like it's so good. It tells you how it's like, hey, this is the best way to play the game. Forces you to play different cards, so you're not just playing the same kind of cards. Also gives you options of like, maybe you're like, I have a lot more Bloodthirst creatures, so I shouldn't play as many bigger haste creatures. I should play more burn and pump. And you're like, well, I have a couple of Bloodthirst cards, so maybe I'll play a couple of big haste creatures. And then if I get to that crossroads, then I have to make that decision then and there, And that's dope. You get Gruul players to think. That's incredible.
Yeah. No, I like the mechanic a lot.
Yeah,
I
right.
guess it's fine.
Please refer to the frying pan that has hit Gruul players on the head.
All right. So that's technically our quota for S for this episode. So
Yep.
let's see what we're dealing with for the rest
We
of
got
it.
a slot in A.
We haven't.
That's
have we
true.
used one of our swaps
We
before?
haven't swapped.
right,
We
we got
swapped
swapped.
once on the show, right?
I forgot about that. All right. Next is Replicate. So this is from original Ravnica block, specifically Guild Pact. And it just says that you can copy the spell any number of times if you pay the replicate cost. We're looking here at Giga Drowse, which is a single blue mana to tap a permanent, and it has replicate for blue. So you can pay blue, and you tap 2 things. Blue, and you tap 3 things. This sentence continues with increasing numbers.
Keep going. Yeah.
Blue, tap 4 things. Blue, tap.
There,
No,
Graham.
but
Don't
you
cry.
said.
It's just a podcast. This mechanic's fine. It's basically tied to like it's not specifically overpowered or anything, right? Like it's just all the cards with replicate. None of them are really busted. This card got played.
Consigned to memory.
Oh right, consigned to that newest one.
That is pretty busted.
That card. It took the Magic community a minute.
Yeah.
We didn't figure it out when the set first dropped, but that is another one of the mistakes of Modern Horizon 3, isn't it?
Yeah, like top 5. Well,
Which one's consigned to
top
memory
20
again?
for sure.
one blue instant, counter target colorless spell or triggered ability, and it has replicate for 1.
Yeah, so it turns out.
Right.
Yeah, it turns out countering a triggered ability stapled to another thing that you could do with the card is pretty powerful.
Right. So the point of this one in Modern Horizons 3 was all the Eldrazi had cast triggers.
Yeah.
So you could use the consigned to memory to counter the Eldrazi and the cast trigger.
Correct.
And like most problems in Magic, the like defensive capability of the card isn't so much a problem. It's when people started figuring out how to use it proactively.
Yeah, what if we counter the escape trigger on my Flage, or the evoke trigger on Null Drifter, or most recently the warp trigger on Quantum Rizzler?
So that means like you're countering your own negative abilities.
Yeah. And we could have just used Stifle for all the things that Wheeler mentioned, but this is the Stifle ability on a card that does something else too, or it might do both things. Like you might be able to counter the One Ring while you're flashing in one of these other cards.
Also,
to talk about
just
somehow,
like plays, it stops a lot of the generic hate pieces. Right, getting to counter like your Relic of Progenitor, your Tormod's Crypt kind of card,
Right.
Your Pithing Needle.
So consigned to memory is a problem itself,
Yeah.
but is replicate a problem?
No, not really. Like it's still replicate isn't even the. I don't know. They could have just made that card with kicker where you can do one or both.
Multi-kicker?
Or no, I just think that like replicate isn't the thing that's wrong with consigned to memory. It's just that it's so cheap and it has these abilities that it turns out to have more utility than maybe we figured out.
It is
design.
kind of boring.
Yeah,
right?
it's not amazing. Like it's just sort
Like,
of
it showed up like tournament played replicate cards are like Shattering Spree, which is shatter.
yeah,
That replicates, and Giga Drowse.
yeah, which just lets you tap all
Taps.
your opponent's stuff.
So you're either blowing up somebody's board or their Chalice of the Void and they can't get through it, or you're tapping them down so you can kill them.
yeah, I mean Thunderheads was fun.
Yeah. I
Like-
don't know. Do you want to put this at C?
Sure, it's not a mechanic that anyone's.
I'm
really
not
gonna fight for.
enthused.
Yeah, C is fine. It is a mechanic.
Okay. But in the realm of boy, is that ever a mechanic? This is a big one. Dredge.
Oh wow, Dredge is in this set.
Okay.
Haha, you can't S it.
I'm not going to S Dredge.
Okay.
So Dredge says it's Dredge N, and it says if you would draw a card, instead you may put N cards from the top of your library into your graveyard, and then return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Otherwise, you just draw a card as normal. So if a card with Dredge is in your graveyard, you can mill the Dredge number and get that card back in your hand instead of drawing a card. But that's any card you would draw, not just your card for the turn. Anytime you would potentially draw a card, you may Dredge if you have a Dredge card in your graveyard.
And you have to have either N or greater cards. This is something that's really funny.
Yeah.
If you have 2 cards left in your library,
You can't
and
dredge 3.
You can't dredge 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this card, so Dredge is D.
Oh yeah, you want to go that way?
Yeah, it has to be. This
It's kind of a blight on Magic, right? Like the thing is, you're supposed to have to pay mana to cast spells.
What?
Yeah.
hold on.
That's like the balancing function of the game.
That's sort of how it operates mechanically.
Yeah.
There are some dredge cards that, like Life from the Loam that's on screen, beloved Magic card, not exactly out there committing war crimes or anything.
1 and a green, return 3 lands from your graveyard to your hand.
If this was the entire dredge mechanic, it would be like an A tier.
Or like Stinkweed Imp. I love Stinkweed Imp.
A little stinky.
Like the old stinkers here.
Couldn't we? I mean, but if we just had like 3 dredge 5 cards, we could have made the same extended like dredge deck.
Yes.
So
Correct.
Stinkweed Imp, by the way, is 2 and a black for a 1/2 with flying. And then when it deals combat damage to a creature, destroy that creature, which is similar to Death Touch, but technically it's a triggered ability. So it does operate slightly differently. And it has dredge 5. So if you would draw a card, you could mill 5 cards and get this seemingly innocuous 1/2 flyer for 3 mana back to your hand.
Oh yeah, but this I've killed people with Stinkweed Imps.
Yep.
I've caused so much.
Like
It's
the
such
actual
a,
imp on the battlefield.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Multiple people.
All right,
Like it's
Sure.
yeah. It's so annoying to deal with, and like you're just slowly accruing like a graveyard to then kill them, which is kind of neat. But Stinkweed Imp I think is kind of beautiful. Grave Troll.
Golgari Grave Troll is sort of like the headliner.
Yeah, that's the guy.
And the thug is pretty bad too, because like the thug's ability is also synergistic. Only
Golgari-
costs 2 mana.
Golgari Grave Troll is 4 and a green for a 0/0, but it enters with a +1/+1 counter for each creature in your graveyard, so it gets bigger and bigger as you dredge stuff. For 1 mana and remove a counter from it, you regenerate it, so it's hard to kill, and you dredge 6.
One of my favorite old things to do is just ask people what read the text of Golgari Grave Troll to me. Like recite it.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't. They're,
Right.
they're
Like
they're
dredge 6.
Dredge 6. Okay.
Something else.
Now what?
Because it's about putting stuff in your
It
graveyard,
just
not
o-
actually.
Yeah, I mean, you would reanimate this card occasionally because it does. If you've dumped your deck into your graveyard, it comes back as like a 40/40
Right.
or whatever. But like, yeah, man, dredge. If it was just dredge 1, or like you only had like a couple of dredge cards, then it would be fine.
There was a while we played Dark Blast before they started giving us better 1 black mana removal.
Yeah, Dark Blast is like not as offensive as a dredge
Yeah.
card, just actually more offensive as like you wanted to play with small creatures? Like, sorry, idiot.
Dark Blast is just 1 black mana instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn and dredge 3.
Yeah.
So you just sort of you can keep bringing Dark Blast.
I'd say
back.
it's a pretty dog water mechanic when
Sure.
you just ignore the text on a lot of the cards.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah,
let's put dredge at D.
Yeah.
I think this is like the community will enjoy the justice of this.
There's a good way to do. There's a reasonable way to do dredge, and it's just shenanigans.
Yeah.
It's utility card, but even shenanigans is like, oh, you want to play an artifact deck? Well, I'm going to blow up your artifacts all the time, and it's like, damn, that's really good against the unfair artifact decks. You're like, no, it's actually too slow. But the people that are just playing artifacts because they like artifacts, they're going to be in hell. Like it's tough. Just ignore dredge.
So we the cutoff for inclusion of mechanics in this does not include anything from Avatar, but it does include Spider-Man. So next is Mayhem.
Oh yeah,
And we
Mayhem's-
talked about Madness already in a
Yeah.
previous
Yeah.
episode.
Mayhem is actually cash.
Mayhem's great.
Yeah, Mayhem
Yeah.
is you have in this case a creature. They're not always creatures, but we're looking at Ultimate Green Goblin, who's 3 mana, 1 and 2 hybrid red black for a 5/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, you discard a card, then create a treasure token, and then Mayhem reads 2 and a hybrid red black. You may cast this card from your graveyard for the Mayhem cost if you discarded it this turn.
You know, I've hit this point with UB. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and I have less emotional investment in the toys I play with. But like,
Finally, in your 30s, you can start getting a little bit
I don't know.
distant.
Graham's like Ultimate Green Goblin, and I'm like, haha, la lamau. Like, stupid, but like, who cares?
Not as stupid as Through the Omen Paths.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Mayhem's great. They fixed
Yeah.
Madness.
It's easy to
It's easy
understand.
to
Yeah, it's
understand.
fixed. It still works great.
I'd put this at A.
It's way less confusing. I don't think we have any A slots left. Oh, we
No,
do.
We got one more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have two at B. I'm fine.
But it's kind of an A mechanic.
Yeah, I'm fine putting it in.
Yeah,
A.
sure.
This one, this episode's kind of loaded with like,
Top and bottom.
we got a lot of like gruel.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's true. But I remember you, when we talked about Madness, talking about how Mayhem was potentially
great.
as good as or even better. So
Yep.
great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Disturb is next. This was from Midnight Hunt, where there was creatures, and then when they died, you could cast them from your graveyard for their disturb cost, and they would enter transformed as a creature aura. No, as a creature.
They would enter They would enter whatever
enter
their backside
transform.
was.
Non-spirits come back as spirits. The spirits come back as auras.
Great.
I think is the cleanest way to do it.
They return transformed. In this case, we were looking at, I don't remember the name of Bait Hook Angler, which is just a 2/1 for 1 and a blue. So it's just a piker. And then when it dies, you can disturb it, and then it comes back as a ghost, which is 1/2 for a 1/2 flyer that if it would go into a graveyard, you exile it instead. I think it was creatures in Midnight Hunt came back as ghosts, and then ghosts in Crimson Vow came back as enchantments.
That sounds right.
I think is how they sort of split that out.
Yeah. So, okay, we gave Embalm and Unearth S's. Mm-hmm. And like, this is much the same thing, but more complicated, involves double-sided cards. I don't know. I think I'm happy just giving it whatever highest rank we have left available.
Yeah.
Which is B. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's one of these, like, every card is Jace the Mind Sculptor and has 100 words on it.
Yeah.
Mechanics. That's the slight against it, is just like, I got to read both sides of my common and then, like, tank for a while before I make my draft pick.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a lot. But then in play, it's pretty satisfying. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just a worse version of pre-existing mechanics, and not from a competitive sense. Although yes, from a competitive sense.
It turns out.
But because it's so much easier to be like, okay, Sacred Cat goes over here. Here's the token of Sacred Cat.
Right.
Instead of being like, okay, I flipped this. And now it's here. Oh, and then I got to remember that when this dies, it's exiled instead of going back here. It's just the sleeving and unsleeving. It's real annoying.
If you ever get got by that Catilda that turns into an aura, it's like, that card's kind of big game.
Yeah, there are some good disturb cards.
there's some good
I
disturb
just
cards.
love being able to play without sleeves.
Sure. Sure.
And this doesn't let you do that.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about the transform and even flip.
I'm fine
mechanics
putting
in
it at.
general.
I'm fine putting it at.
Let's
B.
put it at B.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
put it
fine.
at B.
At B.
Disturb can be B.
All right. Only 2 more mechanics today. Our first of those 2 is partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Commander specific. It was introduced in Commander 2016, and it says you can have 2 commanders if both of them have partner. And then there's a subset of partner, which is part of partner, which is partners with name.
is that its own mechanic that we'll be addressing in the show?
I don't believe partner with
Because
is
there's also Friends Forever and, of course, Ready to Run.
ready to run. James, you haven't put partner with separate from partner, have you?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, so partner with does have one unique thing where it specifically only partners with that one, but it says partner with wasn't originally a commander thing. It was from Battle Bond,
Yeah.
and it was when you play when the one creature enters, you get to go looking for the other one from your library and put it into your hand.
Or your teammate's library, right? That was why it was in
That's-
Battle Bond.
yeah.
It's like-
Target player,
Yeah, target player searches for the partner with. Yeah.
So, but partner is just you can have 2 commanders if they both have partner.
Yeah. I think this mechanic is kind of bad. When it came out, it seemed like it was great for Commander. And then several years later, especially with those years including hundreds of new legendary creatures, it was like, oh, now at like various levels, not even the top one, there starts to be a bunch of homogeneity in the community. That's the complaint I've read.
Yeah, operating as a member of the Commander format panel, partner is Dookie Butt.
Right. Right.
No, it's
just not necessary now.
Partner,
right?
I actually don't hate partner. I think there's a lot of charm with partner. Customization is fun. You get to. It's a way to do a mashup or like what's the word I'm looking for?
Remix. I don't know. No.
It is partner is closer to a guest character in a fighting game than it is to Fortnite. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Sure.
Right? Like when you're like, I'm playing.
crossover.
Yes, it's a crossover.
Crossover.
Yeah, I think my brain tried to erase that concept from it for like defensive reasons. Yeah, it's like it's kind of cool. You can have a team up, right? Really bad idea when you just have like good rate mana sinks that are so many colors because it just lets you play multicolor slop at higher power levels.
Also lets you cheat the commander tax,
Yeah.
which I always found a little bit.
And gives you an extra card in your starting hand.
Right, exactly.
Like when you try to game the system for commander, then partner is bad. I don't hate. I actually like partner with. I
Sure.
think partner with is kind of cool, where it's like, yeah, it's a tag team, right? And one of my favorite usages of it was the Ikoria commander product, where you have the bonder and then the legendary like beast or whatever that it's bonded with.
Right.
That's really cool. That I like that quite a bit. I think it's. And they like Wizards knows that partner is messed up.
Right.
And occasionally we will get a new partner. Like we saw Yoshimaru on the screen. We got there's a weird crow from like LCI Commander. I forget its name.
I have no recollection of this.
Yeah.
Crow.
Yeah, it's like a 0/1 that cares about pirates. But like that's a cool thing, right? There are some pirate partner commanders, and now you get to put a crow on that shoulder because it's your captain of your commander.
Oh,
deck or
nice.
whatever, right?
Okay.
Like that stuff is cool and cute when they understand like how to like make if they're going to make new partners, they have to be very specific and also monocolored.
Right.
And
and
then
hopefully
they're-
not pushed.
Yeah, and then
Right.
they're like partner forever, or friends forever, or whatever, moving forward, or partners with X. But yeah, like it's the crimes of Thrasios, Timna,
Yeah.
like the crimes of Bruce Tarl, a Netflix series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd put this at C. I think this is a reasonable
okay.
C. It's definitely not a B, so it's got to be C.
All right. I think the only for me the only potential negative against partner is just that now this comes up a lot in like flavor discussions of like now that this exists there are many cards that feel like they ought to be partner, right? That like they should have Sam and Frodo have partner in their deck.
Yeah, I think they have partner with.
Partner with, yeah. But like there are some characters where it's like, well, these should be cool. You know, you get a lot of like Rule 0 partners.
Oh, dang. Are you saying that Universes Beyond and whatnot has caused a lot of issues involving...
That's exactly what I'm saying, yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Graham hates Spider-Man.
Oh, is there an Echo in here? That's right, it's Echo. Our last mechanic is Echo.
No, this should have been so much lower.
What can we switch Echo with? Echo's a pretty horrible
Such
ability.
ass, dog.
Yeah.
Echo sucks.
Echo does.
So Echo is you play the spell, and then during your next upkeep, you pay for it a second time, or you sacrifice the creature.
Okay. We can salvage this because I think this has to go into B, right?
You got some swaps.
We only have a B left. Well, we're allowed one swap. I think we only
Oh.
need the one.
Yeah.
Can we? I could soften on impending to
Yeah.
get this up to C.
I
Is
could
that-
do impending to
I-
Echo.
yeah.
I think I'm comfortable doing impending.
I was
to
also
Echo.
just staring at the screen trying to figure out if we can get partner into D somehow, but I don't actually think it's worse than these other four mechanics. Because partner has things salvaging
people
it.
like partner.
There's a bunch of cool
A
things
lot
you
of
can do with
fans of
partner.
Yeah.
It's just also busted.
Why?
Can we talk about why Echo's so bad?
I was going to say, not to further extend this episode, but yes, why is Echo so bad?
Okay, you're playing your hobby.
Yes, okay, I'm there. I'm with you. I'm imagining
and
it.
you're escaping the real world.
Love
You're
it.
just trying to play with your cards.
Deranged Hermit.
And
yeah.
you find Deranged Hermit is a bit of an outlier.
This one's kind of messed up because it makes you these squirrels.
Yeah. Let's go with
Like War Marshal.
Is it Winding Worm, James? Do you have Winding Worm? Well, the cards with
Goblin
Echo that
War
see
Buggy?
you play... Yeah, Goblin War Buggies.
Goblin War
or Winding,
Oh, yeah,
let's go with
Winding
Winding
Worm's
Worm.
fine.
Winding
Yeah.
Worm. So Winding Worm is a 5-mana 6/6 with Echo.
Yeah.
So ahead of
Yeah.
rate, right?
Yeah.
You pay
Ish. Yeah.
So you pay 5 mana, you get a 6/6. Big ass worm.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got to play my worm. I'm the worm man. I summon the most powerful worms. I've channeled
and my worm
channeling
together.
the forests of Yavimaya. I bring forward the worm. And then you go to your next turn and you're like, now what am I going to do? And the answer, you're going to pay your credit card.
Yeah.
You're going to pay your bill, dog.
Yeah.
You're going to. The answer is that you're trying to escape and your phone's vibrating.
Sorry, yeah,
and it's the oh, not your phone.
My phone is actually vibrating.
It's like the collection agency is calling
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
Like that sucks. Why do you want to like? Don't make people pay more, right? Like Echo. There are cool applications for Echo. Like Echo not paying its mana cost is pretty interesting. You have cards where like
Echo discarded card.
Echo discarded card is
was
interesting.
cool. Yep.
Ook Tobby Drake.
yeah?
No, not that one. Well,
That-
I mean,
that
actually,
one's-
this one's
it's
not,
different.
Yeah, it's different,
Right.
Sack 2 lands does feel bad, but like,
Plus, it has haste.
yeah, if you tweak the numbers on this card, it could be infinitely more appealing,
Yeah.
right? But like Uktabi Drake, which is like a 1 green for a 2/1 flying haste with Echo for 3, bad card. But like you could playing 1, being able to hit them in the air, and then if it's early on, you're like, well, I wasn't going to pay this. I just need to push damage. That's kind of cool. And like it's a green thing with flying and haste. There's novelty in that.
Yep.
But like later on, you're like, yeah, I hit you for 2. Yeah, I'll pay Echo.
Right.
Like I've got Echo. I could pay
This looks like this is actually going to stick around and be a problem for you. So
Yeah.
I'll pay Echo. So there's
Right.
They have kind of fixed it,
Yeah.
but from the original like Urza Saga block, yeah, that Winding Worm is probably the best example.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, what do you mean?
Just don't. I don't want to pay for my thing again. I don't want to be reminded about bills.
Yeah.
I don't want to rent is due.
And not even just the concept. That turn is no fun. You're like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
I paid for it. And then you're like, go to combat. They're like, terror. I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. It's
no fun.
Yeah, it's not great. So
So yeah, let's put it in B, but then let's switch it with impending because
We're going to move to our end step now.
yeah, I think unless you want to do a different
no,
switch.
I like this.
because I was pretty low on impending, and it's like people do mostly figure it out. I'm probably in the like bottom 10% of being comfortable with an impending
Do you
card on
think-
the board.
do you think
and
you'd
being
be
good
hi-
at like remembering the
I
counter.
swear, I'm not trying to be rude. Do you think you'd be higher on impending if you were 20 years younger? And like playing Magic.
All right,
Do you think you would be higher on
Yeah,
impending?
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
If it was like Zendikar era.
Sure. Yeah.
Like
no,
us
I get it.
playing
I
Magic?
get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm a kid. I'm at the height of my Magic career.
yeah.
I came second in a PTQ last month.
You're going to money draft after FNM.
Yeah, exactly.
And like your opponent misses impending, you're like, God, I'm so smart. I wouldn't have missed impending.
Right.
That
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
vibe. Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Because it's not actually impossible to figure out or anything. It's
Right.
not like the worst. I do want to take any mechanic that's like new player I'm worried is going to mess this up 3 different ways and like move that.
Yeah,
down.
it does have a downside
Yeah.
in that like you can't put a die on top of your deck because it's your end step.
Right. Exactly.
Like, yeah, that's not great.
you just have to remember every turn.
But it is an arena coded mechanic.
It's
right?
super
Like,
arena coded, yeah. And like, but in paper, I don't know. I don't actually get a ton of calls like that.
Pretty sure if they miss your
miss my
impending, the
trigger.
rules now state that you take it off and also they win the game.
Oh.
You didn't pay for your pact? Oh, here's $5 and you get to pay for it. Like,
Right.
Oh, your opponent missed their trigger? Well, ice cream for you.
yeah,
That's right, yeah.
God, I hate comp magic now.
All right, great. Well, that was part 3 of ranking the mechanics. Look forward to seeing those S tier ones come back for episode 9 when we look at all the S ranked ones again. But I'm having a blast doing these episodes.
These are great.
Yeah.
Great.
Until next time, I want to remind everybody that the show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. Buy and sell your Magic cards there. I do. Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Use the code LRRMTG5 if you're buying anything on Dragon Shield. And finally, and most importantly, everything we do here at Loading Ready Run is brought to you by you and your support of our Patreon or by becoming a member on this YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. Until next time, I have been Graham, joined by Nelson.
Hey, that's me.
And Wheeler. James has been on tech. Heather gets these online. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.